What's that? Oh. Oh, we are. What's going on, guys? It's Mike with Fantasy Football Tips. Today I'm going to do my first video in my Versus series, whether you should take Todd Gurley or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Leave a comment below and let me know who you'd rather have, and then let me know if you changed your mind after the video. Today's video was actually inspired by a conversation I had with Jimmy DeFreak, so thanks for the feedback, and if anybody has any suggestions moving forward, I'd love to hear about it for my next Versus video. Also, I want to throw it out there, I'm thinking about doing a mock draft with my audience, so if you're interested in doing that, leave a comment on any of my videos that you want to participate. The format will be similar to what I did with my mock draft video, only you guys will be the ones on the other end making the picks. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe. I'm posting videos every Tuesday with the tips and advice you need to win your league. Let's start with Todd Gurley. And when we talk about Gurley, the focus is always on his knee, and for good reason. It's caused him a lot of problems over the years and cost a lot of people fantasy championships in 2018. All of Gurley's problems started when he tore his ACL in 2014 playing at Georgia his junior year. His trainer has actually come out and said that teams knew about the arthritic component in his knee before the NFL draft, but nobody expected it to derail his career this much. And that's why the Rams still elected to take him as the first running back off the board. Gurley's knee is going to limit him going forward, but after doing an analysis on him, I found that his knee wasn't the only thing holding him back last year. The offensive line was really bad for the Rams, and that caused him to look really bad. In 2017, the Rams' offensive line was fantastic. At left tackle, you had Andrew Whitworth, who was a Pro Bowler that season, Roger Stafford, who Pro Football Focus ranked as the best Rams offensive lineman, John Sullivan at center, Jamon Brown at right guard, and Rob Havenstein at right tackle. Pro Football Focus ranked this group as the number 6 offensive line in the league, and they allowed Gurley to have a tremendous breakout season. Fast forward to 2018, and 4 of the 5 starters return. The only difference was Austin Blythe actually developed and beat out Jamon Brown for the right guard position. So the line got even better in 2018, and Gurley was off to another tremendous start before a knee injury caused him to be shut down late in the season. Fast forward to the summer of 2019, and both Stafford and Sullivan left in free agency, and they were replaced by Joseph Noteboom and Brian Allen, who both would go down with season-ending injuries in Week 4. They would be replaced by 2 rookies, 3rd-round pick Bobby Evans and 5th-round pick David Edwards. Rob Havenstein also went down in Week 9 and missed the remainder of the season. So only 2 of the 5 members from the 2017-18 group made it to the end of the 2019 season. The group as a whole was ranked by Pro Football Focus as the 2nd worst offensive line in the league. This was not the dominant offensive line that we saw in the 2 seasons prior. Now 100% of the blame is not on the Rams' offensive line. Gurley has definitely lost a step due to his knee. If you compare his play between the 2017 season and the 2019 season, it's very apparent that he doesn't have the elite playmaking ability that he used to have. With that said, he's a good, not great running back who's very capable of being a starter in the NFL. The knee is always going to be an issue, but Gurley's shown that he can manage it. And we saw him last year try to limit the amount of abuse that his knee takes. For example, on this play, instead of lowering his shoulder and trying to deliver a blow to the defender, Gurley just steps out of bounds. Instead of fighting for 2 more yards, he's saving himself for the next play to try to make himself available for later in the season. What I also like about his situation in Atlanta is they're a pass-first team. This isn't going to be the Rams where Gurley's getting 20-plus touches a game and they're running the offense through him. Atlanta is a pass-first team that runs their offense through Matt Ryan's arm. Gurley's workload will naturally be decreased, but he's still going to be the starting running back and get valuable touches on a high-powered Atlanta offense. Gurley actually came out and admitted that he hurt his knee Week 1 of the 2018 season. So he was dealing with that knee injury for the entire season. We only found out about the injury when the Rams decided to shut him down late in the season. So what that shows me is that Gurley's willing to fight through the injury and that he can play through it. Gurley has absolutely no competition for touches, so he's going to be the guy in Atlanta. We don't have to worry about any kind of timeshare or any other running backs stealing work from him. I also love the fact that he's on a 1-year deal. He's going to be extra motivated to get that next contract, and the Falcons won't be worried about running him into the ground or giving him too much work. I think he's perfectly priced in the 3rd round. The only issue I have is whether or not he's going to hold up over the entire season. But if you're willing to take on that risk, he could return excellent RB2 value. So if you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a thumbs up to support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Moving on to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the big CEH. The NFL has gotten really good at drafting running backs, specifically in the first round. In the last 5 years, here's the list of players that were taken as the first running back off the board. Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, Saquon Barkley, and Josh Jacobs. All of those guys received at least 229 attempts in their rookie season, and the only one not to finish as a top 10 running back was Josh Jacobs, who finished as RB13 and only played in 13 games. I'm not saying this guarantees Helaire to do anything, but it is an interesting trend. So another trend that I want to look at is the Chiefs' rushing yards per attempt since Andy Reid took over as the head coach. Since 2013, the Chiefs have only finished outside the top 5 twice. Once was in 2016 when Jamal Charles went down with a knee injury in Week 3, and Spencer Ware and Charkandrick West were splitting carries. And the second time was last year. If Andy Reid was happy with the production that he was getting out of Damian Williams, he wouldn't have spent a first-round pick to bring in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think next year people are going to look back and think we were crazy for ever considering that Williams could even compete with Helaire. In 2019, Williams was averaging 10 carries a game, and LaShawn McCoy was getting 8 carries a game. So the worst-case scenario is that Helaire and Williams split the workload 50-50. But Helaire will have no problem taking over this backfield as the season goes on. The Chiefs didn't take Helaire in the first round to sit on the bench. This is a guy you're going to want on your team late in the season, especially in the fantasy football playoffs. He has the potential to finish in the top 10, and there's definitely a scenario where he finishes in the top 5. Now before you laugh and call me crazy, let me remind you that as a rookie, Kareem Hunt led the league in rushing and finished as RB4. Andy Reid has made fantasy stars out of Brian Westbrook, LaShawn McCoy, and Kareem Hunt. But I can tell you that Reid likes Helaire better than any of those guys. Looking at draft capital alone, he took Helaire in the first round. McCoy was taken in the second round, and both Westbrook and Hunt were taken in the third. Reid has also come out and publicly stated that he thinks Helaire is straight up better than Westbrook. At 5'7", 210 pounds, Helaire is on the smaller side, but it's nothing to be alarmed about. I wouldn't say he's small, just short. But his elusiveness is off the charts. And his 55 receptions last year definitely caught the eye of Andy Reid, who said he's going to be a matchup nightmare in the passing game. Another stat that I really liked is that in 438 career touches at LSU, Helaire fumbled once. So that kind of ball security is definitely going to keep him on the field. Alright guys, that was the analysis. And if you couldn't tell during the video, I'm definitely leaning towards Helaire. I still like Gurley as a solid RB2 flex option, but I think Helaire's upside is just way higher. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up to support the channel. Let me know in the comments who you're taking between Gurley and Helaire, and I'll see you next week.